Welcome to this episode of DIY3DTech.com. In this episode of Shop Talk, I want to share this with you guys. So, I've been doing a lot lately with the Scotch-Brite brushes, if I can spit that out, cleaning up plastic parts. So here's a part I've started, but you can kind of see down here, there's still quite a bit to clean up. Now, these brushes come in a number of different grits, and I've been using my Dremel tool, but it's kind of a pain to kind of be holding it and turning the part. And I was really looking for something where I can bench mount my Dremel, if you will, and I came up with this. Now, this is an electric drill gimbal. Yeah, I'll spit that out. Easier said. So this, I guess, does a drill as well as a Dremel. So I went ahead. It wasn't that expensive. I think it was sub $20 for this version. There was a number of versions out there. So the box comes a little beat up, but so long as everything inside is fine for the price from China, I guess we can't complain. So let's open it up and liberate it from its snazzy housing here. Also, I have some other ideas with this. So as we pull it out, it's pretty simplistic in its design. So obviously this collars whatever you have in there. Oh, there are pieces in there. Extra parts. Because these, as I understand it, go in here, and for like a Dremel tool or what have you, help lock that in, or a smaller chuck tool. And then the idea is this clamps down, obviously, and then we put this up here, and it's got this fancy wing nut, because they couldn't afford a thumb screw, and that kind of holds it down. And then this clamps to the bench. Now, they did put a thumb screw down here, and it has this protective rubber surface apparently here. Now, one of the things I liked about this is I have, for my workbenches, I have from Menards these large metal industrial shelves that I use for workbenches. They're great workbenches, but they have a real big sort of lip to them. And that's where I was looking for something that could go on there that had a sort of a big throat on it, and these do, so I like that. Now, the other piece is this apparently can gimbal, and now I like that too. So, because what I can do is I can mount it to my bench. It's a little bit tight. There is some kind of like light oil on here. And so I can actually mount it to my bench like this and have it stick up vertically and be able to work on it in different angles. So I really like that. So let's go ahead and see if we can kind of mount something up in here and see what it looks like. Okay, so frankly, the only thing I could get it to fit is this actually cheap Harbor Freight Dremel knockoff. And that's because the front of it was flat sloping. So my official Dremel wouldn't work because of this tapered front. Now, one of the things, folks, now I know this screws off, and I even tried screwing this off, but this wasn't enough space to hold it functionally. It kept wanting to pop off. But, you know, one of the things, I think these guys need to think a little bit about they're selling a DIY tool in the aftermarket. Now, this is a little bit of a rant. Why don't they design it in such a form factor that makes it conducive to design other things for? Because this tapered nose, why? So this doesn't have a tapered nose, so this fits in here, and this actually is okay, and it clears the button over here, so I can still, lock it to remove this. I need a pair of pliers to do that, but so this will work for my purposes. I was hoping to use my Dremel, but this will work too. And as you see, I can mount it vertically like that, or I can mount it horizontally, so that works. Now, I tried both my Ryobi. Am I getting this in here? My Ryobi, yep, and my DeWalt. Neither of these would fit. And the Ryobi is not a big drill. So most of my other drills are bigger than these, actually. So, yeah, I don't know what to think of this so far. So it will, I guess, work, but this collar is pretty small. I think one of the things, though, that this will give me an opportunity to do is 3D print something to fit in there. So I think I'm going to work to 3D print maybe some sort of collar that actually screws on here. I've seen out on the internet some, basically some STLs with this thread that I think I'm going to borrow and use to make a collar for this. Because again, if I got something that screws in that's about this thick, you know, there's more than enough room, if I open this up, for it to go in. Takes a little bit, get that fancy wing nut off there. But you can kind of see this piece right here, actually, these do a good job of fitting right in there. And then with the pressure fit, I think you can see that, the pressure fit, it actually holds pretty well. But I think what I'm going to do is, again, probably out of TPU or something, maybe I'll use PETG. I might do a couple of them. But as you can see here, this is too small for this really to lock on. But if I make a piece contoured just like this, that's threaded, that fits inside here, well, Bob will be our uncle, right? And it'll work. So I think that's what I'm going to try. I'll have the link to this below. You know, for $20, you know, I figured it was okay to play with. And, you know, again, I'm fully aware what I get from China is what I get from China. So it's provided an interesting, at least, starter to do something with. So anyways, I found this interesting. If you're thinking about it, just know, probably won't fit any one of these guys. Although, because it does show this drill here in the picture, but this is really, the more I look at it, it's like they've got it attached to the chuck itself. I don't know if you can see that there. It's like they took it and just mounted it to this part, but which will work. But you know, you turn the drill on, you got a problem. So I don't know. I don't know what to think of this quite yet. Again, it's going to work for this, and so my goal will be fulfilled to use the Scotch Brite pads to do 3D part cleanup. So I guess I'm a winner chicken dinner there. So, but yeah, I was really hoping for the Dremel, but it gives me another project to work on, folks, right? So anyways, I'll have links to this down below, and I'll also have links to Scotch Brite pads. I mean, if you guys are doing 3D printing or whatever, these things are really cool. I've bought a ton of them and use them quite a bit. So anyways, I don't know. Maybe you find this interesting and useful for what you want to do. Maybe you don't. I'll have the link for it down below. If not, I hope I entertained you for at least a few minutes. And tell you what, don't forget the bell button out there. I put out regular content. If there's some cool tool you think I should have or review, let me know in the comments below. I love tools if you haven't figured that out yet. And don't forget Swag Shop up in the corner. Great stuff for the maker community. And we'll see you guys in the next video where we do something else cool. Cheers.
Please click like below and subscribe to the channel.